I made a mistake. Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Erin, and today we are doing a very exciting video, and that is a book haul. These are some books I've gotten over the past couple weeks, including all the books I got for Christmas. So I'm super excited to share with you what is new on my bookshelf. And yeah, let's get started so this video isn't like 100 years long, but I'm like, I don't even know where to start. First, I'm gonna start with like what I got for Christmas. So the first book I got was Beartown by Fredrik Backman. This book is about, I believe, like I don't know if it's a small town, but a town where hockey is like everything, and one of the players gets caught in a scandal, and basically it's a fiction book about how everyone deals with it. I'm really excited to read this. It wasn't on my radar until about like a few weeks ago, but then I was like, I really have to read this like in 2023. So we have this one, and I'm really excited. Sorry if I'm out of breath. I am like 31 weeks pregnant, so bear with me. But I'm super duper excited to read this book. I've not read one Fredrik Backman book, so I'm hoping this was a good choice for my first one. Next, I got the sequel, I believe. Yeah, I believe this is the sequel to it. So this is Us Against You. I don't know much about the sequel. I just know that I do want to eventually read the whole series. So my aunt got me the second book as well, and I'm very, very, very excited to read this series. Next book I picked up was Tell Me Lies by Carola Lovering. If you've not heard about this book or the show on Hulu, where have you been? But a lot of people did not like the book. But I wanted to give it a go because I think Sarah Caroli really liked it, and I usually like what she likes. So I think it'll be good. It's basically following Lucy Albright and her start in college, and then she meets a guy, and I think it's about their tumultuous relationship all throughout college, and then eventually they reunite at one of their old college friends' weddings. I started the show, and then I decided I wanted to read the book first, so I got that for Christmas. I'm really excited to read it. I know it has very mixed reviews, and I don't know if it's because the relationship in this book is super duper 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 toxic. I'm really excited. I think I will really enjoy this book. Speaking of toxic couples, I also got Magnolia Parks by Jessa Hastings. I was really excited to open this up. Basically, I think this is like Gossip Girl-y vibes. I don't know, the back of the book totally gives me like major Gossip Girl vibes, don't you think? I love, love, love this cover though. Oh, beautiful. But I think it's just also about a couple, and they're super toxic. So I'm excited to get into this because I love relationship drama. Like, who wants to read a boring romance about a boring couple that's just happy all the time? Couldn't be me. So I'm really excited for this book. The next book I got was The Dead Romantics by Ashley Poston. I believe this is about a girl who has a relationship with a ghost, and she's a ghostwriter. I don't know, I've heard good things about it, so I wanted to give it a try. So I put that on my book wish list, and I got it. It even has a little blurb by Ali Hazelwood. So I think this will be good. It's nice and short and sweet, so this might be a little fun romance to read. But I think, yeah, so she's a ghostwriter, and I think she can see ghosts, and then she ends up having a relationship with a ghost. I think that's what it's about. I don't know. Everyone was saying it was pretty good, so that sounds fun. The next book I got was Too Late by Colleen Hoover. I know Colleen Hoover is very controversial right now, but I really enjoy her books. A lot of people do not like this book. This is another super toxic relationship book. I sound like I am mentally ill by these books that I pick, but I think I'm gonna like this girl named Sloane is in a relationship with some guy who is really awful, and it gets into a lot of bad things, and then she meets a new guy and he's like trying to help her get out of the relationship. So this sounds very interesting and I'm really excited. It's super dark. I know that, so, but I love dark books like this, so I'm very excited to get into it. Next book I got was We Are All the Same in the Dark by Julia Heberlin. And this is a thriller. I've really been wanting to read more thrillers because I've been reading tons of romance this year. So I want my 2023 year to be like my thriller and fantasy era. Like I'm really wanting to get into those. So I believe this is about a small town and then someone disappears. And the brother like knows something that they don't. Like it's a missing person book and it takes place in a small town and basically everyone knows each other, I think. And I put this on my Amazon list, so I don't know too much about it, but I think who was it? A booktuber I watch, which I'll put her down below when I figure out her name because I can't think about it right now. Next one is Before You Knew My Name by Jacqueline Bublitz. I'm just gonna read the synopsis because this is another book that I think someone like recommended and I just added it to my list and like don't really know too much about it, but that's kind of how I like to go into like thrillers. So this is another thriller. When she arrived in New York on her 18th birthday carrying nothing but $600 cash and a stolen camera, Alice Lee was looking for a fresh start. Now, just 1 month later, she's the city's latest Jane Doe. But this is not just another story about a dead girl. This is where her story starts. A killer still roams the city, and the woman who discovers her body can't let the moment or her bond with Alice go. But as Ruby Jones gets closer to the truth of what happened, Alice fears she's also getting closer to the same tragic fate. So basically, this girl goes to New York and goes missing, and then this girl finds her body and wants to know what happens. And obviously, as she finds out more information, I'm guessing the killer is trying to go after her next. So this sounds really interesting. I'm super excited to read this in the new year. And the last book I got for Christmas was Friends, Lovers, and Big Terrible Things by Matthew Perry, which is Matthew Perry's memoir. I am super excited to get into this. I'm a humongous Friends fan, and I totally admire him for overcoming addiction, and I can't wait to read, you know, his story. I think it'll be heartbreaking and emotional and amazing. So I'm excited to get into this next year as well. So next, I think I'm going to show you guys, I got 2 books at the Barnes & Noble hardcover book sale. These were books I have been having my eye on for like a month now, and they were just so expensive. So when the sale went on, I was like absolutely going to pick them up. First is, this is a Reese's Book Club recommendation, which I feel like I always like her book recommendations, so I'm really excited. It's another thriller. It's about a woman who witnesses her son murder someone outside their home, and then he gets put into custody, and then she goes to sleep and wakes up and it's like the same day over again, and then she falls asleep again and it's the day after, and I think she's gonna try to stop the murder from happening, and it sounds really interesting. I don't know if I've heard much like reviews about this yet, but definitely excited to get into this book. Next is like, I've been anticipating this book for so long, and it is The Last Housewife by Ashley Winstead. I absolutely loved In My Dreams I Hold a Knife. I think it was my favorite thriller of 2022. So when she came out with this book, I knew I was gonna read it. I knew I had to get my hands on it. Basically, this is about a girl who is listening to like a true crime podcast, and he starts talking about her old friend from college and her story, and basically I think it's gonna go into her past, and she was in a cult, and it sounds really twisty and awesome. And if you read In My Dreams I Hold a Knife, you'll know, like, I'm excited for this because I feel like there will be some good twists and turns throughout this story. So I'm super excited for this book. I cannot wait to read it. I will probably be reading it like within the next couple weeks for sure. Next, I bought a few books from Target and Barnes & Noble like a few weeks back, and I wanted to share them. First is Kingdom of the Wicked by Carrie Maniscalco, and I've been wanting to get into some like fantasy books. So I read the back of this and it sounded pretty interesting, so I was like, maybe I can get into it. I'm hoping this is a good like start. I feel like I really want to get into fantasy, but it's really intimidating for me because I feel like it's so much information. And I feel like I'm gonna go into this like reading the page over and over again. But basically this is about two twins, and they are witches who live among humans. And I think the sister disappears or is killed, and she goes after like the killer. So it sounds really interesting. There's like 3 books in this series. I just picked up the first one because, you know, if this is my first fantasy read, I'm not too sure how I'm gonna love it. So I'm really excited though to get into some fantasy this next year. Next, I got Caraval by Stephanie Garber. This is another really popular fantasy book. And you're probably like, have you been living under a rock? How have you not like picked this book up yet? But I believe it's about like a circus, and there's like a game, and then it has something to do, her sister gets kidnapped. It's a lot. Like I said, fantasy is like not my forte, but it's something I really want to get into. That's definitely one of my reading goals for next year, is to read more fantasy books. So I'm really excited to get into this. Next is Watching You by Lisa Jewell. I read a Lisa Jewell book this month, my first one. I read Then She Was Gone, and I absolutely loved it. One of my favorite thrillers this year for sure. One of my favorite books this year. So I picked up Watching You. This is kind of like a suburban, sounds like a suburban drama thriller, you know? I think someone gets murdered in their kitchen, and you know, all the neighbors are like talking about it, and we're gonna find out who killed her. So this sounds interesting. I can't wait to read some more Lisa Jewell in 2023 because I don't think I'm gonna get to any of these this year. I am still reading some holiday books, so, but I'm really excited for this one, and I really do love her writing, and her story, or Then She Was Gone, was super twisty, super interesting. It had me keep going until the end. I just had to know what was gonna happen. So I feel like her other books will be the same. Next, I got The Deal by Elle Kennedy. I have not read this book yet, and I feel like it's a crime. But I read Icebreaker the month before in November, and I loved it. So I was like, I need some more hockey romances in my life, some more sports romances. So I'm gonna get into this series this coming year, and I'm so excited for it. So this is the first book. It follows a bunch of couples. It's kind of like Twisted series. They're all standalones, but like all go together. They're all the same group in the same universe. So yeah, I'm super excited to get into this. I don't want to talk too much about it because I feel like everyone knows what this book's about. So The Deal. I can't wait. Next, I found this at Barnes & Noble, and I was kind of like, I have to get it. I'd never see this one at Barnes & Noble, and it was Addicted for Now by Krista and Becca Ritchie. If you have not heard about the Addicted Callaway series, have you been living under a rock? I don't know. So I have read Addicted to You and Ricochet, and I loved them. The first book is a little hard to get through, I feel like, just because you're dealing with addiction, and it's just hard to watch people like destroy themselves for a whole book. But I'm so excited into this one. A lot of people said this was their favorite Addicted book, so I think it's gonna be awesome. It is quite long compared to Ricochet, which is pretty tiny. This book's over 500 pages, so I'm like, ugh, I don't know if I'm ready to get into that, but I'm hoping like next month I will read this one for sure, because I definitely want to finish that series out next year. Next, I got Before I Let Go by Kennedy Ryan. I have not read one Kennedy Ryan book, but I adore this cover. I think it's the most beautiful cover ever, and I don't know, I just really love the cover, so I bought it. I believe this is about a couple, like a married couple that separate, and they have to co-parent their 2 kids, and now they're like trying, and I think they're like trying to piece their relationship back together. It sounds very emotional, very heartbreaking, but sounds like something I would really like. I love romance books that are more than just like a cheesy romance. I want something deeper, and I feel like this will definitely be one of those books. So I'm super duper excited for this one. And the last book I picked up was The Housemaid by Frida McFadden. I picked this up because everyone's been talking about it and how great it is. And basically it's about a housemaid that I believe works for like a rich family, and they all have like secrets and we're gonna find them out. It sounds like a rich people drama kind of vibe. So I like that. I like books about people's like family drama, and I'm kind of bummed though. It's kind of messed up. I get so scared to buy books at Target because I feel like I don't like look at them enough, and then I bring them home and realize like there's something wrong with the book. But I think this was the last one, so I was like, I need it. It's like, I'm like, I need the book, and it's like, when am I gonna read this? Like in 3 weeks. So it's just funny that I'm like so hell-bent on buying a book right then and there. But I'm really excited. Another thriller. As you can see, we are definitely reading a lot of thrillers this next year. But yeah, those are all the books I got in the last couple weeks for Christmas at the Barnes & Noble sale, and just for fun. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please like, comment, and subscribe. Comment down below if you got any books for Christmas. What did you get? What are you looking forward to reading next year? And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. I'll see you in my next one. Love you. Bye.